Hi everybody and welcome back to the KK Zone. As always, I am Kara Kaufman and I am here kind of unplanned on this Wednesday afternoon because the Yankees and Astros started their series, their first meeting of the year last night, Tuesday night, and it was so good that I absolutely had to get this episode done today because wow, that was the kind of game that you watch in real time and it really pumps you up, and then you go to sleep, as one does at night, and in the morning you are still pumped from the game. That is how I felt this morning. I woke up still with that game in my mind. And I have to say, before I recap the game, the number one thing to talk about here are the fans at Yankee Stadium. Yankee Stadium is still at limited capacity. There were only, I think, 10,800-ish fans there last night, but it sounded insane. Way to turn out, Bronx faithful. This is great. I was so happy to see it and hear it. I was listening on the radio to start the game, and you could hear the mics are picking up some chants that I shan't repeat. But let's just say Jose Altuve was being told something pretty rude repeatedly, and then turning to the TV, the energy was palpable. It felt like, as many players said, and Aaron Boone said, it felt kind of like a playoff atmosphere for an early May game. And that's because ever since the Astros investigation was concluded and Rob Manfred found that, yes, the Astros had definitively cheated in 2017. And the Yankees have been pretty clear, the players, not just the Yankees, all players are pretty clear in their condemnation of the Astros' behavior. And also the Yankees, who got beaten by the Astros in the playoffs that year and again in 2019, have been pretty forthcoming, saying they don't believe the Astros stopped cheating until they got caught. So there is definitely some built-up animosity there, and while the players all kept things clean and civil on the field, which I greatly appreciate, please don't hit guys and hurt them. No one wants that. The fans, they did not hold back, and it was awesome to see. Fantastic energy, delightful atmosphere, fun signs, good costumes. People turned out. I mean, they can't have that kind of energy for every game this year. I can't wait to get to the stadium later on this month, and I probably won't have quite that level of just, up to 150, but it seemed like it really helped the Yankees. And frankly, probably threw off the Astros a bit. Honestly, if I were getting booed for 3 hours straight, I'd probably be a bit thrown off too. So, let us see exactly what happened in this amazing game. So much happened in this game, and it was such an intense one. I'm going to give myself 2 minutes to recap it, and we'll see how much I can squeeze in to 120 seconds. Starting now. Ready, set, go. Houston coming to the Bronx to take on the Yankees for the first time since 2019, and the Bronx faithful made themselves very, very heard. Talk about a 10th man. The crowd was merciless booing the Astros, and did it have an effect? It might have. It was a very tight game. The Astros did strike first. Alex Bregman hit a big first-inning home run to get them on the board. But then, at the bottom of the first, Giancarlo Stanton, who's been as hot as anybody in baseball, hit a massive 2-run homer to put the Bombers right back on top, keep the crowd right in it, and keep the momentum driving forward. What about Stanton? He went 4 for 5 on the night. 4 hits. That is insane. He has a 10-game hitting streak. He's hitting almost 500 during that streak. He is absolutely tattooing the ball. So great to see that guy hitting like we know he can hit. That was good. Meanwhile, Dingo Herman battled for 5 innings, allowed 3 runs. Against the Astros' potent offense, that is not bad. He allowed 2 solo homers, kind of a problem for him lately. But other than that, limited the damage enough to keep the Yankees in it. So we're tied at 3-3 going into the bottom of the 6th. And that is where all hell broke loose. The Yankees had the bases loaded with 2 outs. And they have not done so well in those situations this season. Bases loaded, they've been kind of not as good at getting the run in as one might like. DJ LeMahieu at the plate, that's who you want. So what does he do? Oof, weak ground ball to third, except such a weak ground ball to third, it was a clear infield single. He was going to beat it out. A run was going to score, take the lead. But Alex Bregman fielded it bare hand and threw wildly, which meant the runner who had been on second also scored easily. And then the relay back to home plate was not great. So the runner on first, who was Rougned Odor, tried to get home, and he did. He scored. It was a bases clearing single plus error for DJ LeMahieu. However, at the plate, Odor and Astros catcher Martín Maldonado crashed pretty horrifyingly. They both had to come out of the game. Odor had his knee injured. Maldonado said he got kicked in the head. It was rough. So that was, we hope they're both okay. That's a big plot line to monitor going forward. But the damage was done, and Stanton came up again and hit another hit right after that. So ultimately, the Yankees scored 4 runs in that inning. And I will say, as the timer goes off, the bullpen locked it down. Great Yankee win. Yeah, way too much happened to get it all into 2 minutes, but that was pretty much it. No more scoring after that crazy inning, which, to my point, Yankees bullpen has been fantastic, and I'm going to particularly highlight Lucas Litke, who had a great spring training and then kind of had some runs given up early in this year and we're all like, oh, spring training delusion? I think maybe not. His underlying metrics are fantastic. He limits hard contact up with the best of the pitchers in the majors this year, and that is a good way to get things done. He's looked fantastic. Another scoreless outing for him. Also Wandy Peralta, also Loizaga, also Chad Green. Beautiful job navigating those last 4 innings for them. So after that big bottom of the 6th, smooth sailing for the Yankees. Also got to point out, Gleyber Torres made one of the better plays I've ever seen him start. He, on a Yordan Alvarez grounder up the middle, had to dive for the ball, flip it to Urshela while somersaulting backwards, and Urshela turned and threw an absolute bullet to first base. That was some of the more exciting defense seen from the Yankees this year. They played a super clean game. The Astros did not play a super clean game, and, you know, it was a big one. Obviously, it's a random single regular season game in early May, so the import is just in and of itself not that large, but the way the fans were into it and the way these teams finally had a chance to meet again, all the Yankees who've been wanting their revenge, well, they were able to exact it on the field in this game, and it was really, really, really good to see and so fun to watch. Okay, so it is time for some baseball bingo. As we said, Mel has already won, but I'm still tracking this, and I've got 2 updates for this week. The first one is a sad one. This one is a prominent pitcher needs Tommy John surgery. It's inevitable. This feels like it happens every year. So most sadly, Dustin May of the Los Angeles Dodgers, really exciting young player who's had a really good year to date, had to leave a game in the first inning with elbow discomfort, and sure enough, it's Tommy John. I'm so sorry about that. That was on Ronaldo's card, so Ronaldo, you can go ahead and check off that box, but maybe pour one out for poor Dustin May while you're at it. We can't wait to see him back up and at it as soon as he's recovered. And the other thing that happened is yesterday, on Tuesday, a team did score 10 runs in an inning. It was the it was the Giants. The San Francisco Giants scored 10 innings against Colorado, which makes sense. They were in Colorado, and that is a base hit, heaven for batters. So it kind of makes sense that was where a 10-run inning was going to happen, but it was the very first inning. Talk about a demoralizing start for the home team. Yikes. But San Francisco Giants scored 10 runs, and as a result, Andrea gets to check that off her bingo card. So congratulations, you two, on your continued bingo progress. Now, as the U.S. is continuing to battle against COVID and seems like things are mostly kind of on the upswing, we're happy to see it. There are some updates regarding that in terms of major league teams. The first one is the Blue Jays, who have been playing all their home games in Dunedin, Florida, because they can't be in Canada. Well, they still can't be in Canada. However, they are going to relocate as of June 1st back to Buffalo, their AAA park where they played last season. I am not sure how that's working with their AAA team, so kind of shrug there. But that was a fun ballpark to play in. Very offensively oriented, so expect a lot of high-scoring games up in Buffalo. The Yankees next play the Blue Jays in June, after they play them in the stadium in May, but then the next time they play them at Blue Jays is in June, so they will be in Buffalo rather than Florida. So that'd be fun to watch. And then on the Yankee side, New York is really starting to open up, which is great news for businesses and for people as long as they're continuing to stay safe. And to that end, Yankee Stadium's capacity is about to increase, and also they are going to be allocating certain sections of the stadium for fans who have been vaccinated. There'll be those sections at full capacity. So that should be really interesting to watch. I bet there's going to be loud pockets of those vaccinated fans who can be in the normal crowded stands. Should be interesting and fun and loud. And then also the Yankees are doing something really cool, which is they are beginning to offer vaccinations at the stadium. They've been doing that already, but if you come to a game and get vaccinated while you're literally waiting to get into the stadium, you get free tickets to a future game. Come on, it's a no-brainer. Do it. That's so fun and great. I mean, they're giving out the J&J, which is a one-shot, you're done situation. So if you're at the stadium and haven't been vaccinated, just pop one in your arm, protect yourself and the world, and get free tickets to the second game. What more could you want? Loving it. So yeah, we're going to see as the summer goes on, more and more people in the stadium, and based on the energy that was there last night, I'm excited to hear how that sounds when it is getting closer and closer to the 50,000 people that we know and love. My last update of this week is actually to do with last week, which is the Major League Baseball announced its Player of the Week award in the American League went to our own Corey Kluber. He had 2 fantastic starts last week, including that really incredible one against the Tigers, that 8-inning shutout. Whew! So he earned that Player of the Week honor. Congratulations, Corey Kluber. And the American League Pitcher of the Month was none other than Garrett Cole. This is well deserved. Cole was basically unhittable for an entire month. I think it's one of the best calendar months of his career, and certainly one of his best Aprils. We love to see that. Hopefully that can continue. If that Cole sticks around, Cy Young Award, watch out. So congrats to Cole, congrats to Kluber. Yankees pitching, been looking really sharp. And as always, we'll wrap up with a haiku from last night's game, which is as follows. The crowd was so loud, I felt like I was right there. Satisfying win. Much of it adequately expresses the glee and energy that I felt watching that game, but it is the most notable part to me was how enthusiastic and in it the crowd was. So keep it up, Yankees fans. I can't wait to join you and add my voice to the chorus. It was really, really fun to watch. And yes, an extremely satisfying win. So the Yankees continue this week. They have 2 more against the Astros. I expect all those to be high-intensity games. We'll see what happens. Tonight, Montgomery's pitching, trying to get back on track. And on Thursday, it's Garrett Cole against his former team. That's going to be high drama for sure. So we'll watch what happens there. I will leave you with this quote. It is Stephen Sondheim, my muse, from Sweeney Todd. Probably my favorite musical of all time. It's beautiful. This is the quote. I will have vengeance. I will have salvation. That, of course, is Sweeney taking revenge on the judge. But in this case, it is Judge and the Yankees trying to get their revenge on the Astros. They clearly felt wronged, understandably so, and they were able to really get that out by playing beautiful, clean, crisp baseball last night. Hopefully, they'll keep doing that against the Astros and maybe against everyone else too. Something to watch going forward. I hope it ends up that way. They're playing really well. Let's keep it up. We'll see what happens in the next 2 games, and we'll talk all about it next time I am back. But until then, enjoy the chaos, enjoy the intensity, and go Yanks!